All right. Good morning, everyone. Dan here with tradingology.com. We're getting the doors opened up a few minutes late. Had a couple things running around here, so appreciate you guys waiting out for a few minutes and hanging out. We'll get Dave here joining us shortly. He may or may not be right at his desk. We were trying to play by the seat of our pants on what time we'd be getting started. So good to see you guys. Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. Good morning, Dave, if you're out there. And if you're not, I'll just hang tight, take a quick look at the markets here. We were positive, but they're making that change in a hurry. We're literally at the zero line right now on the YM contracts, ES 0, NASDAQ NQ's up 0.1, moving on the way down to 0. But the Russell is slightly above it. So the Russell's the strongest one right now. Everybody's kind of selling off at the moment. I'll take a look at the indexes. We saw some major activity move right at the open where it's a big shoot up and then selling right off. We see bullish activity is flattening on the 5-minute chart there, the 10-minute chart on the Dow end, which then we would expect to see. Internals are dropping. So we open up around the positive 1,000 mark, but now it's coming down to around the zero line. So keep an eye on that as things are changing quickly. And let me know if you guys can't hear me for some reason, but can see me before Dave gets here. Good morning, Kyle. Good morning, Curtis. I see you guys here in the room with us. And Dave will be here shortly. I believe he's probably just not at his desk right now. While we're waiting for him, shoot me shoot something in the chat. Make sure you guys can hear me. We'll take a quick look at what's going on here on our calendar. We do see new home sales is down once again. So they were forecasting 950,000. Last week we had a lower than expected turnout. Same thing this week where new home sales are dropping. Thanks, Kyle. Got it. So I'll see if I can find it because I did see another stat that home sales were up some ridiculous number, or just values alone. Like we all know values are going up crazy. I'll see if I can find it on the side here in a second, but it was absolutely ridiculous percentage, like 100 or 400% rise on like year over year. So I'll see if I can grab that. Thanks, Curtis. Appreciate it. If you guys got any questions right away, let me know. I was kind of covering what we're looking at, and we will be still stopping at the top of the hour. So if you got anything before that time, let us know. Maybe I can see it here on Bloomberg where they're talking, it's the biggest jump in prices. I don't know if there's a number on this one. I don't have a subscription to Bloomberg, but low rates dropping. They're still low ever since. Everyone's refining, but it's the biggest rise in that probably ever. And they're talking about since 2005 here. Let's see if I can find it anywhere else. It was on a different deal. But as we mentioned last week, it's headline news on CNBC right now, this 100-to-1 leverage trading in Bitcoin. And as we see, had an update yesterday, but I got news, whether they want to consider good or bad news. That was a 618 retracement in a downtrend. So the target on that guy is just above 20,000. So we'll see if the Fibonacci sequence holds true or not on that one, or if they do make a break above. If it breaks the fib, it's going to have to break 45, basically 46,000. It's 49 and change, I think. There we go. I can't mouse over on that again and see what that number is. There we go. 45,872 would be the number where it could, where the sequence will be broke. But right now we've had 2 days where it literally touched that 618 retracement, and the trend right now is to go lower because it's still making lower lows and lower highs. XRP's in the same boat. Ethereum's in the same boat. There was a nice little setup. I heard a few traders took that long yesterday and benefited from that. Same kind of deal. It's making retracements.
I took a little bit of that.
Hey, there's Dave. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
I was just kind of covering the markets there. I don't know. Did you catch this news about house prices and the surging? You have a subscription to Bloomberg, I think, and there was a stat I saw somewhere where it's like at least triple-digit percentage.
Oh, wow.
Rise in
holy cow
house prices. And at the same time, we saw on the calendar, new home sales are down once again. So that's not looking good for the outlook.
Yeah, actually, I had indicated that I thought home prices would go up because the new starts, the housing starts was down so far. But having both of those down new starts and existing home price sales down is kind of a bad economic indicator.
Yeah, there's the one from last week I pulled up last Friday. 609. You were looking for a 6.5. It came in at 5.8. Yeah, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
So this week they're continuing the FOMC member parade as usual. And G7 meetings. We'll see if that brings out anything on Friday. But yeah, just looking at the market itself, we saw a sell-off on internals, major volatility at the open here.
Oh yeah, pretty big. The Russell 2000, I mean, it just jumped right at pretty close to the open, up to 2250 on the M2K, and then completely reversed on us.
So be very agile if you're trading out there, and be very careful. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves.
It's interesting if you take a look at the daily chart on the SPX and the Dow. It looks like it's starting to develop a topping pattern. We haven't really seen much of a topping pattern on those two. The M2K was definitely a topping pattern. We had that kind of an inverse Wyckoff spring. I forget what you call it, but on a topping pattern, it's the same as the bottoming pattern. There's a little spring that goes down in the middle. On the M2K, we had a spring at the top, which indicated a topping pattern and kind of an exhaustion of buying. But now we've got this kind of retracement here that's very, very, not quite. It looks like we're trying to get to a new high, but then we had this reversal this morning. I mean, the Dow was up, almost 150 points, reversed. We had the NDX up and reversed. We had the S&P 500 up. It's kind of reversed. None of them were negative. Although I did see the Dow futures index go negative for a few minutes. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, just a very, very choppy market. Doesn't really look like it's going anywhere. It's kind of stuck between, on the S&P 500, you got like a 150 point range here.
Yeah, one thing we did note, you can see it in the daily chart here, is we had quite a few columns fill in the balance of power, but definitely not well formed. So very spotty herding going on right now on the internals. I'll zoom this in a little bit so you can see that it was, the columns 1, 2, 4, and 6. After a day that was 6 only. So that's not well formed whatsoever. So it's kind of leading to the false start here, I would say.
Yeah.
And low SD numbers, we're down around 2, nothing much going on. Taking a look at the internals again quick, we're just hovering around the 0 line with the volume coming in. So pretty mixed right there, pretty choppy action expecting. And I literally think it might work its way around my bubble here. We'll see if that happens.
Let's see if it comes down the other side of that moon. Looks like a moon out there.
No, that's going to be crazy. I'm going to have to put a montage together if that happens, because you can't make that up.
Yeah.
So I know you got to go at the top of the hour. One thing I did want to bring up, I shot out an email to some of our members last night about this, is more of a long-term opportunity. Have you taken a look at our precious metals recently?
They have been going up. I've been watching gold and silver. Gold's back up close to 1,900 an ounce here, isn't it?
Yeah, I was starting to notice a comparison between last year and this year, and we know there is seasonality in things. So I don't know if this is going to be related or not, but last year from, what was it, March? We had the big rise. So this was this was the original sequence that we had with the target of 1839 off of the previous sequence that hit 1582. Now this is a monthly chart too. So this is taking in a lot of data points.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So then we had this major rise. So here was 2020. So we broke 1839 here when we hit it in July. But just looking at March to August, there was a 44% rise here. I'll put the measure tool on here and see if I can get this out of the way. All right, there we go. Yeah, 44.03% was that move up last summer. So we set a new, since we broke that, we needed to wait for a proper swing high. So I set a new fib on there. So now we got a target of 2484.
Oh, wow.
And everybody thought we might hit that last year, the rate this was going, right? But then it turned around and things changed. So looking at this fib now, I started to think, what happens if we have the same 44% run up from March to August again?
Yeah, that would be interesting, huh?
So I put it on March here at the bottom. Let's measure 44%. And we come up right around 2,400, give or take a few points, which is pretty close to 2,484.
Yeah.
So if that happens between now and then, let's take a look if we repeat from last year. So yeah, monthly chart, that's a nice move up there. We're up 7% on this month, which was May. May last month, we had a 3.5% on the tails of a 6%. So we'll see. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and that monthly bar so far, at least for May, looks pretty strong.
And look at where that dropped down and literally hit the 618.
Yeah.
March, and it's been moving up ever since on a monthly basis. So that's a regular sequence action there, where it retraces the 618, then it goes to the 618 extension.
Wow.
So if anyone, I'm not saying buy it and hold it for the rest of the year, but look for opportunities to buy the dip until this sequence breaks.
Well, it kind of begs the question: is this a rotation? Like I heard, I think I heard somebody yesterday, and I forgot who it was. I think it was Stephen Van Meter. He was talking about a rotation out of crypto into gold.
If people are, I did see a tweet about that as well.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the case or not. It looks like the momentum, though, is definitely on the side of gold right now. So I would not be surprised to see that at 2,400 level and above.
And that's what, we look at these historically, and these targets always look ridiculous when you first see them, and then they eventually get hit.
Yeah.
So keep your eye on that. Just maybe look for, opportunities to buy it along the way. Drop down to the weekly and daily charts and look for opportunities. That way you can just ride the trend.
Now the gold silver ratio is right around 67. I was looking at the 70 level as kind of a resistance. So does this mean that gold is going to outperform silver here? What does the silver chart look like?
Let's take a quick look. Got that on a different tab. That one I got a target of 41. This is, wow. I forget which one this is based off of. This might be based off the weekly. I was going to do I was going to look at this closer today for today's newsletter. But yeah, we're sitting right at 28 right now. Let me drop this to a monthly just so I can get a same comparison, because that's on a day chart. Well, look at that. We almost made the 50%, not quite. But yeah, same kind of deal. Let's see if we had, March was a down month. Let's measure this the same way we just did. We had 156% run up on that one.
Yeah.
So let's compare that to this March and see where 156 comes out at.
Keep going. Keep going.
60.
Whoa, that would be crazy. What would stocks do, you think, if we had a big run up in silver and gold like that?
I think there'd be another turnover point, would be my guess, is a rotation from stocks that are potentially falling into silver that's rising. We'll see.
Yeah. That daily chart on silver actually looks very much like a Wyckoff bottoming pattern. You had a kind of a very, very tight pattern. We had a couple of little points there, a little double bottom maybe. And now we're up at the resistance. Resistance looks like 30. If we break through and close above 30, I think it could go to that 60 target. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think if I go back, this chart probably doesn't go far enough, because it's just silver contracts versus a spot price or anything, if it's ever been above 30.
Oh, it was above 30 back in the 70s.
Yeah, I got to get different charts out for that one.
Yeah, because I had one summer, my cousin and I went through the boardwalk in New Jersey and in Atlantic City collecting silver dimes. I had bags full of silver dimes. Bags. This was back in the early 70s. And a couple years later, I had these bags of silver dimes, and silver was like at 75 or 80 or even 90, I think.
Nice.
I think it was 90.
Wow.
And I sold it all. Bought a
Sell it
motorcycle.
high. Buy it low, sell it high, baby.
Bought a motorcycle.
You'll appreciate this too. We do some sales every once in a while. I recently became the new owner of a silver certificate.
Oh,
I got a
nice.
couple of those in my vault now, so that's fun to have.
They are fun to have. I think I may have one right here in
It might come back out. Yeah, I don't have it close to me, or else I'd pull it up on the camera. But
my drawer.
he's got one in the drawer. Especially now, we'll see what happens with that.
I've heard that miscut bills. That's miscut.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really bad. Really miscut. I heard those are special. Here's an interesting one. This is Hawaii $20 bill. It says Hawaii on it. Can you see that?
I do see it. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Evidently, in fact, on the back is kind of weird too because it's stamped Hawaii across the back.
What year was that?
This is 1934.
Wow.
I am not sure why. I did the research and I forgot. I forgot all about it. Here's another one is a $10 bill Hawaii. And here's I've got a billion. Well, not a billion. I wish I had a billion of $1 silver certificates. I got a lot of these though. I like the silver.
I picked up a couple of those. It's fun to have those.
And a $2 bill. Remember $2 bills?
Yep. They started making those again. They printed them again.
What? Did they really? I don't think anybody used $2 bills.
I think it was 1976 was the famous one. Now there's new ones since then. I don't know why.
Anyway, that's all I got in my drawer here. I got others hiding.
Well, with that, we're getting close to the top, so we want to make sure you make your appointments, and I don't want to make you late. So with that, we'll probably wrap it in a minute or two here. Kyle and Curtis, we appreciate you guys coming out. And quick shout out in case anyone's watching, the Wealth Masterclass is tomorrow for our members. So that will be 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. I'll put it on a couple more notifications. If anybody can't make it, the recording will obviously be available as always. I think a few of you guys are in that, so heads up on that. Any teaser you want to leak out?
I don't know. I thought originally about talking about one topic. I'm not really sure. I think what we're going to be doing is talking about a little bit of gold and silver, a little bit of an update in the commodity stuff, because some of the commodities have kind of backed off here a little bit, but there's others that are doing really well. But I've got some information. We could talk about Tecrium, which is the company that came out with the ETFs for soybean, wheat, a lot of the commodities. Very interesting company. I'd like to dive a little bit more into that because one of the things that Morton Schulman talked about, as we mentioned before, is investing in the inflation cycle using futures contracts. Well, Tecrium has created these ETFs using futures contracts in a very unique way that kind of reduces the risk a little bit for individual investors. So we can talk about that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some business stuff, business building, and also how to exit a company. If you own a company and you want to try to exit it, it's going to be an interesting topic, I think. Very interesting topic. So we're going to talk about that.
Very cool. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
All right. With that, we'll call it a wrap, gentlemen, and we'll catch you Thursday on the next trading room. You're welcome, Curtis. Says he's trying to get his seeding finished. Rain's been slowing the process. Yeah, I hear you. We're getting some rain last night. I had to throw some fertilizer out myself because I'm tired of weeds.
Yeah. Yeah. I got weeds too. I got organic fertilizer in the garage. I need to get out too. Jeez.
Well, we'll hope for sunny days for you, Curtis. We'll bring it out there for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Dave, we'll catch you tomorrow at the trading room, and we'll see you guys in the Slack channels.
All right, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.